Now in Australia, we have had our human right taken away. If you're not vaccinated, don't push other people to stay unvaccinated. If you are vaccinated, stay on that side. But the fact of the matter is, our human right has been taken away by an oppressive government who is using coercive tactics in their regime to pressure us to take a vaccine that we don't want or we don't fully understand. And because of these regimes the government has set in place, you can now see violent riots in downtown Melbourne. It is a direct result, a correlation of what the government has put in place by taking away our human freedom. They have essentially stripped us of that and said we're not allowed to choose for ourselves. More of a democracy with autocratic tendencies. Being an island nation at the bottom end of the world, they don't realize that America, Europe, the rest of the world is learning to move on, learning to live with COVID, yet they're going in and out of lockdowns. They're doing the same thing on repeat. Now, the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Australia has been doing the same thing over and over again. They don't understand that the rest of the world, Europe, I'm unvaccinated, I can still travel. I don't need the vaccine. I don't need to quarantine. I don't need to do that mandatory 14-day isolation. But in Australia, they are so far separated from the rest of the world, they don't see what's actually happening. Now, there are other countries, such as Lithuania, that are putting their own precautions in place with the vaccination passport. Theoretically, we are not allowed to go to a supermarket to buy food, to buy essential services to survive. Roughly 66% of Lithuanians are vaccinated, which means 33% are not. And essentially they have left it out there for people to struggle, to make it harder. The government doesn't care about us. The governments care about how heavy their wallets are. And if we're to compare Lithuania and Australia's rules to that of the United Kingdom and even Spain for that matter, they have dropped the vaccination passport in the UK. They don't talk about it. It's not on the news. They don't have government daily updates like they do in Australia. Now, the thing is, the media's job is to prey on the weak, to consistently put fear out there to make things seem worse than they actually are. I guarantee if an Australian cured cancer today and there was 600 cases of COVID in Sydney, you would not read about the cured cancer. It would consistently be about COVID, how bad it is. It is being pumped forward to the people to be able to compare Australia to the rest of the world or that of the United Kingdom. They don't talk about it. Their life is going on. They can do what they want without having to wear a mask. It's their choice. They have that freedom. They've invoked it, and their society continues. Australians, they cannot. Personally, I've been called a murderer for traveling last year. Like, it's ridiculous, by my own people, by my own government who will not let me come home. Because they've locked those borders down, I was left overseas. But I can still travel to Europe, I can still go to South America, I can still go to Africa, I can still go to the United Kingdom. But I can't go home because our government has oppressed everybody and put those big borders up, and they don't really know what they're doing. A lot of people tell me you need to get vaccinated, you're taking the beds of the people who need it. That's nonsense. I am not taking the bed of someone who needs it if I go to hospital with COVID. People need to understand there's been approximately 219 million people get COVID worldwide. That's 219 million out of 7.6 billion people. The chances of getting COVID are very slim. To go beyond that, there are an estimated 650 million obese people. There is an estimated 1 billion smokers that sit there and smoke cigarettes on the regular. And they tell me that I'm taking the bed of someone who needs it. An estimated 95% of people around the world have health problems outside COVID. And that's largely because they don't look after themselves. They don't eat correctly, they don't diet, they don't exercise. They're the people that are taking the beds off those that need it. If you smoke or you drink alcohol and you tell me that I'm taking the beds of someone who need it because I'm not vaccinated, you need to look in the mirror and take a good hard look at yourself. When it comes down to a number or a statistic, you have a higher chance of being attacked by a shark, 1 in 5 million. You have a higher chance of being in a plane crash, which is 1 in 11 million. And you have a higher chance of being in a car accident in America, which is 1 in 366 chance per 1,000 kilometers you drive. I have a bigger chance of getting attacked by a shark, crashing in an airplane, and crashing a car as opposed to getting COVID all in the same day. So don't tell me I'm taking someone's bed if I'm sick. Don't come at me with those arguments, they make no sense.